If you've ever looked at your own life and thought, I've done everything right, so why does it still feel wrong? Then this video's for you. Because Across the Spider-Verse isn't really about multiverses. It's about the moment you realise you've outgrown the person you promised everyone you'd be. There's a scene where Miles stands between two worlds. The kids his parents still see and the hero he's becoming. And that tug of war, that's the same one most of us are still fighting, just without the costume. In the next 10 minutes, I'll show you how to spot the exact point where being responsible turns into self-betrayal, and how to step into the version of you that's been waiting on the other side of fear. Because identity isn't fixed, it's forged. And the sooner you learn that, the faster you stop defending the life you've already outgrown. You're not tired because you're busy, you're tired because you're living a life that no longer fits. You've built stability, but it feels hollow. You've done everything right, yet something's missing. That emptiness isn't failure, it's feedback. It's your soul whispering, we've outgrown this. So ask yourself, what part of your life feels too small for who you're becoming? Because what once protected you is now holding you back. And every story starts with a mask. Something that made you feel safe when you were unsure. For Miles, it was trying to copy Peter Parker. For you, maybe it was perfection, people pleasing, or being the strong one. But safety has an expiry date. The habits that helped you survive can't help you evolve. When Miles finally paints his own suit, it isn't rebellion, it's truth. He stops mimicking and starts creating. And maybe that's what you need to stop rehearsing for a role that isn't yours. You don't need to burn your old life down, you just need to stop pretending it still fits. Because growth doesn't destroy what you were, it honours it by building what's next. And comfort isn't safety, it's sedation. You call it stability, but it's really the fear of losing control. Staying where it's safe slowly costs you who you could have been. So ask, what are you protecting that's no longer protecting you? The mask that keeps you calm will also keep you small. Comfort feels warm, predictable routines, familiar approval, the quiet peace of no surprises. But that peace is expensive. It costs you aliveness. Miles kept playing the good son. Good grades, rules, expectations, safe. But safety isn't where purpose lives. When he finally breaks routine, he doesn't lose control, he finds momentum. And that's your invitation to stop confusing peace with paralysis. Because life isn't asking you to stay comfortable, it is daring you to stay conscious. Most people don't fail because they can't fly, they fail because they never let go. You call it waiting for the right time, but it's really fear in disguise. And fear doesn't yell, it whispers, not yet. So what dream are you still postponing behind someday? Because you can't outthink fear, you can only outmove it. And Miles stands on the rooftop, shaking. He's trained, prepared, capable, but terrified. Then he jumps. Not perfectly, but honestly. You've had that rooftop moment too, the proposal, the launch, the leap, and you hesitated. You told yourself you were being smart, but logic was just fear and formal wear. Every fall teaches flight. And courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the decision to act before it wins. So take the leap. You'll get bruised, but you'll rise. And the ground will matter less every time. The heaviest chains aren't made of metal. They're made of other people's opinions. You've built your life around applause, and now you can't even hear your own voice. Because approval's a drug. The more you chase it, the emptier you get. So whose praise are you still performing for? And you can't become your best self while auditioning for theirs. Miles wanted his dad's pride more than anything. Every risk he took looked like rebellion to someone who didn't understand it. Maybe that's your story as well. You keep earning gold stars from people who don't even know your dream. But the truth is, approval is currency that loses value the second that you spend it. Real love doesn't demand performance, it celebrates evolution even when it's uncomfortable to watch. So stop chasing applause, start building alignment, because the moment you stop needing permission is the moment you start leading. If this video is resonating with you, hit like and subscribe. We've talked about letting go of the old identity, but next we'll dig into how to build a new one without guilt. So stay with me. You've changed. They'll say it like an accusation. You'll want to shrink back just to keep the peace. But you're not betraying them, you're finally being loyal to yourself. So ask yourself, who are you still apologising to for growing? Staying small doesn't keep you loved, it keeps you invisible. And the issue I have when people say, you've changed, is to say, well, yeah, why haven't you? We should always be growing, we should always be learning, we should always be evolving. No one should be the same person they are now as they were 2 years ago, 5 years ago, even 10 years ago. And I know plenty of people who've never grown up. To me, that's just a waste of life. You should change. You're supposed to change. You're supposed to grow. And for Miles, he couldn't be the same son and the same hero. He had to choose truth over comfort. And you might feel that same guilt when people say that you've changed. But guilt's just an echo of someone else's fear bouncing off your growth. You can love people and still outgrow them. You can honour the past and still move forward. You don't owe anyone your stagnation, so stop apologising for your evolution, because what looks like loss at first is often just release. Becoming yourself isn't about adding more, it's about taking off what's false. You've spent years trying to find yourself, but maybe you were never really lost. You're just buried under expectations. So ask yourself, what mask would you drop if you stopped performing? The real you isn't missing. You've just been muzzled by survival. When Miles removes his mask, it's not for the world, it's for himself. He stops hiding behind borrowed identities and meets his own reflection. Flawed, powerful, real. And that's what growth actually feels like. Not fireworks, not applause, just the quiet relief of finally breathing your own air. Authenticity isn't a new version, it's just the end of pretending. And the moment you stop performing, your life stops feeling like an act. You don't prove change by saying it, you prove it by living it. People might doubt you, and that's okay. They're just seeing an old photo. Keep choosing the new you until disbelief becomes undeniable. What's one decision today the old you would never make? Because repetition is what turns transformation into truth. And Miles didn't announce his growth, he embodied it. He stopped asking who should I be and started acting from who am I now? That's the work. Integration, repetition, alignment. Every time you act from your new identity, the old one loses its grip, and eventually it fades away quietly into memory. But you don't need to convince anyone that you've changed, you just need to live like you already have. Here's what most people miss about growth. You don't just wake up one day as the new you. You have to disappoint your old self a little every day until they finally let go. So here's what that looks like in practice. A simple, real-world way to start living from your growth identity instead of your fixed one. The first step is catching the conflict. Every time you hear the voice that says, that's not like you, pause. That's the old self defending its job description. Smile at it, thank you for protecting you, then act anyway. Growth starts when defiance replaces doubt, and then we work in a new default. When faced with a choice, ask, what would the next version of me do? Not the braver one, not the perfect one, but the next one. Because transformation isn't a giant leap, it's a series of small betrayals against your comfort zone. And then finally start collecting evidence instead of perfection. Don't look for massive wins, look for proof. Moments where you acted differently, even slightly, and write them down. That's how you rewire your identity, not with affirmations, but with evidence. Each new act says, I'm no longer who I was. And if you do those three things, catch the conflict, choose a new default, and collect the evidence, you'll stop trying to believe in the new you and start becoming proof that they already exist. And if you're ready to stop trying to do it alone, to actually practice this version of you, then that's why I built the Clan Training Grounds. It's where we take these moments, these small acts of courage, and turn them into a lifestyle. It's where you don't just learn about mindset shifts, you live them. So if this hits something in you, if you're done performing the old role and ready to rewrite the next chapter, then click the link below in the description and join the Clan Training Grounds. And then start building the proof that you were never stuck, you were just unfinished. Because the greatest plot twist you'll ever write is finally becoming the person you've always known you could be.